All right, so Timmy is back to share more of his insight with NASCAR as the season just continues on. The Go Bowling at the Glen race was this last Sunday. I'll be interested to hear what Timmy's thoughts are on that. And then I think the next one is the Cookout at 400 race. That's in Richmond, Virginia. That's coming up, so both of those should be, or well, the first result and then the next one should be pretty interesting. But Timmy, I'm gonna hand it over to you. What we got NASCAR wise?
I want to start off with the Xfinity Series. It was a very incredible race, tons of wrecking, which is not very common for a road course like Watkins Glen. There was a 16-car accident, which is a track record actually, and the race was stopped for about an hour, hour and a half to clean up the accident. Connor Zillich won the race, and when drivers get out of their cars, they like to stand on top of their cars. Well, he stood on his car and slipped, didn't get his foot placed right. And you got to think this isn't like a padded floor or whatever. This is concrete, and he fell and he hit his head. Uh, Somehow he only came out with a broken collarbone, and he's perfectly fine. Not sure he'll be racing this weekend.
That's
I'm
like
not even sure if he'll.
that's like a miracle that he only came out with a broken collarbone. I mean, yeah, that could have been way worse.
I'm hoping he's able to make it in time for the playoffs that are coming up for the Xfinity Series. But I want to recap the Cup Series race and the playoff push real quick. But first, I have a device that I use to do that, and now I can't find it. Whoop de doo. Lucky me. Like, okay, so Shane Van Gisbergen won the race by over 10 seconds. And even though he's in his mid 30s, I believe, he's a rookie. That was his fourth win of the year, which breaks the rookie record for most races won. What that also does is that puts Tyler Reddick in the playoffs. So you know how I was talking about there's so many spots left and so many races left. Well, now there's more drivers left than there are racers, so Reddick is a lock to make the playoffs. With Richmond coming up, and there's another track after that, Daytona before the playoffs. So Bowman,
When do the playoffs start?
2 weeks. Like Labor Day weekend, I think is whenever it starts, or the weekend before that. I have to look because I
Yeah,
lost my other
Labor
information.
Day weekend would be like still like 3 weeks out, but maybe it's the week before, like you said. Yeah.
Um, but Alex Bowman and Chris Buescher are on the bubble right now, with Reddick basically locked in. So it's going to be some very hard racing to try, and they're going to have to race their way in or hope that somebody else wins so they can lock themselves in. So it's going to be a fun whatever you want to call it between the two. It's going to be fun racing coming up these next few weekends, 2 weekends.
Yeah, and why Daytona specifically are you looking forward to?
Daytona is the biggest wild card in NASCAR, so that you're not gonna. You could get last year the guy was in last place out of all the full time drivers in points, and literally needed to win to make the playoffs. And you hadn't heard from him all race, and he makes a pass on the last lap against two-time champion Kyle Busch to win the race. Because with all the wrecking and the type of track it is, you never know what to expect when you go into a track like Daytona or Talladega.
Makes sense. Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Any last thoughts on this week's segment for NASCAR?
Um, I think that we're going to get some hard racing, very, very hard racing, uh, especially between these bubble drivers.